What's up guys, Balmont here. So Valkyrie ELYSIUM was released just over a week ago, but I like to bring your attention to the game that gave origin, that gave birth to everything. Yes, I'm talking about Valkyrie Profile, more specifically, Valkyrie Profile Lenneth. So you know the drill. Go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel to help us keep on growing, and let's get right to it. The original Valkyrie Profile was released in Japan in 1999 on December 28th. An updated version, which is the one we'll be taking a look at, Valkyrie Profile Lenneth, was released on 2006 in July 18th. It was on the PSP and is also available on mobile platforms. And it's also set to be released as a bonus for the deluxe edition of Valkyrie ELYSIUM, and of course I think it's pretty safe to say that it will be released as a standalone game for the PS5 as well. Set in the medieval times, Valkyrie Profile Lenneth sees you, a Valkyrie, serving the All-Father, Odin, by collecting the souls of slain heroes to serve as Einherjar, to prepare for a Ragnarok, which could bring about the destruction of the world. As simple as this premise may seem to be, its development certainly is not. Unlike in so many merry-go-round games, Valkyrie Profile is a title surrounded by darkness and sadness. Each of the Einherjar you will be recruiting, and trust me, unlike in Valkyrie ELYSIUM, you will be getting several Einherjar, and they all have different movesets. So even though you will get, for example, 2 swordsmen, their movesets are going to be very different. Different enough for sometimes you to prioritize one over the other because of its moveset, and not necessarily just its sheer attack power. And each of your Einherjar has a very tragic and believable story. A lot of attention and personality has been imbued in each of your Einherjar, so when you play this game, chances are you will remember many of their stories. And I definitely don't want to give anything away about the game's possible endings, but the outcome of Ragnarok is not that obvious. One of the game's 3 endings has the story pulling a major 180, and the whole build-up to this, the confusion, the chaos that ensues is so well written, so coherent, the game never breaks character, not even once. It's high-level writing from beginning to end. But of course, that's not all that made Valkyrie Profile such an adored game by its fanbase. Now we must talk about its combat system, which, to me and many other players back then, was innovative. You see, while this is certainly a turn-based JRPG, the way in which those battles happen is a little bit different. Each of the face buttons, that is triangle, square, circle, and cross, are assigned to a different character. And whenever your turn comes, you can create different combos. You can time your attacks with each of your characters to maximize damage, to perform guard breaks, and even to perform special attacks. And another thing that made Valkyrie Profile 1 so interesting is that every single character has a different special attack. And they're not just for aesthetics either. You may choose a character over another just because of its finisher. As the game progresses, you will be able to perform some heavy customization to your characters. You will be able to equip different skills, to level up different skills, making the battles even more dynamic. And what was really amazing in my opinion was that this was very well implemented in a turn-based combat game. It gave it a little bit more of an action feel to it, while still maintaining its turn-based core elements. And here is where things do get a little bit mixed up, because we're going to be talking about both the story and the gameplay at the same time, because time always passes in Valkyrie Profile whenever you perform an action. You enter a dungeon, you visit the city, so on and so forth. And let's just say that at the end of each phase you are subjected to a performance evaluation. If your performance is too low, let's just say that things won't end well for Lenneth. Now if your performance is too high, well, I'm gonna leave that up in the air. And here's a little hint though, there is somewhat of a middle ground between both, which can be very entertaining to witness. Now, speaking about the dungeons, your navigation through them kind of works like an adventure game. Battles don't just happen randomly, you always see silhouettes, you always see forms, shapes of monsters, and when you come in contact with them, the battle will actually start. Now there's also a little bit of an adventure element to it because some items will sometimes be of your reach, forcing you to make smart use of your resources, mainly your crystal, which can also be used to freeze enemies in place. And there are also some differences between your difficulty settings. I tend to always play on hard because many years ago ago, that's what I did, and the benefits from playing on this difficulty are very, very good. You get some different weapons, you get extra dungeons, and I don't want to spoil things for you, but if you're looking for added challenge with a twist, and that added challenge is nothing out of this world, it's completely manageable, then yeah, give this mode a go, you won't regret it. So, as I always ask in every single one of my videos, where does that leave us with Valkyrie Profile Lenneth? Well, it was the start of one of the most beloved franchises ever of all time within the JRPG genre. And that wasn't because the game could have been seen as some sort of novelty by some, or nostalgia today. No, if you go back to it, you see that this game is a solid 10 out of 10. I will be releasing a more in-depth video about Valkyrie Profile Lenneth in December, which will mark its 23rd anniversary, or 22nd if you live in the US. If I got you interested, then make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And if I have the time, I'll even make a video about the second one, Valkyrie Profile 2, Sumeria, which is seen as one of the greatest PlayStation 2 games ever made, and rightfully so. So this is Balmont speaking to you. I hope I piqued your interest about Valkyrie Profile Lenneth, because it's a game worth looking into if you like story-heavy games with an excellent and addictive combat system. See you next round.